Okay. Uh-huh. Good. Alright. Wait a minute. Hello everyone and welcome to O'Reilly Review. Today's review, A Link to the Past. The third installment in the Zelda series, and it was a good change from... The game was released in 1991 in Japan and 1992 in the US and Europe by Nintendo. And it's a very similar game to the first Zelda game, in which it's a top-down exploration game where you play as Link and save a princess. I mean, I guess even in the first one, you weren't even told that much. You were just a guy and you're like, go to explore. But it was the first game to introduce objectives, which you did not have in the first one, and we'll get to that later and we'll discuss whether that's a good or a bad thing in games. Also, it paved the way for the 3DS Zelda game A Link Between Worlds, which pretty much is the same game, just on a 3D platform, in which there's different mechanics and such. It just takes place in the same world. And before I actually start the review, I'd like to mention a video that kind of inspired these videos as well as this certain video. The channel name is Egoraptor, and the video that I'm inspired by is his Ocarina of Time versus A Link to the Past video. If you watch that first, a lot of the things I'm going to say in this video will sound very similar to things that he says in that video. So I'll leave a link to that one if you want to watch it before or after this one. It'll be an annotation right here. Right there is where the annotation is going to be. And enjoy the rest of the video. Anyway, on to the pros. For one, the game lets you roam free like it did in the first Zelda. However, it lets you roam free to an extent. Unlike the first one where you had to wander around and get lucky stumbling across the next dungeon in the sequence, it actually gives you objectives and places to go and like numbers where it tells you how to do them in a certain order. But that's pretty much it as far as restrictions go on your exploration. Other than that, you can go do whatever you want. Exploration in that game is pretty much necessary in order to beat the game. In this game, there's a real sense of exploration and suspense that was lost in games past that. For instance, with bosses, there's a very real chance that you could walk in on a boss and not be able to kill it. Some bosses you kill with the weapon you get in that dungeon you find the boss in. Other bosses you fight with the weapon that you get in a different dungeon completely. And some bosses you can fight with just your sword. And then some bosses you fight with the weapon that you don't even get in a dungeon. You have to find by exploring and just coming across that weapon on a whim in order to be able to beat that boss. So although you are being streamlined through the storyline, exploration is still very much there and very much key in order to beat the game. Another pro for the game is that it has a near perfect balance between combat and exploration. The game is not completely based on one aspect or the other, but rather they depend on each other to keep you enthralled in the game. Sometimes you'll have to fight and explore at the same time in order to progress through a certain dungeon or a certain room. But speaking of combat, this game also does combat very, very well. For every enemy, it has a unique fighting style and a unique way in order to defeat that enemy. Jumpy skeleton dudes, jelly dudes, eyeballs with legs, chompy guys, statues, more jelly, jam. There's so many! And that is like an 18th of the amount of enemies that there are in this game. But as I said, every single one of those enemies I just listed has a unique way of killing them. Whether it be swing your sword at them regularly, or get to the side of them and swing your sword, or put a bomb in front of them and use that, or use your arrows. There's so many ways in order to defeat any enemy in this game. It's like every enemy is its own little, teeny, tiny mini-boss. Overall, the game does a pretty good job of setting you free and letting you figure out stuff on your own. Yeah, but, I like games that, kinda, hold my hand through it so I don't have to use my brain and I can just kinda, sit there and press buttons and finish the game. Well, too bad. Alright? This is Zelda. Alright? This is Zelda A Link to the Past. Alright? Alright, random guy? Yeah, but, it's I played Ocarina and that was fun because it kinda held your hand through the game and, it wasn't that hard. You know what? Leave. Anyway, on to the cons. I'm so sorry for that performance. Not my best. Now on to the cons. The game does kind of streamline you through its process, the way it kind of wants you to go. It still forces you to do certain temples in a certain order, and it kind of holds your hand and doesn't let you explore as much as it should. But I thought you said it did a good job. It was perfect with like holding your hand through the game. I did not say that. I said it did a pretty good job. So far, no game after the first Zelda has let you explore freely, has let you just explore and figure stuff out for yourself. And that can be a good or a bad thing. On one hand, it kind of takes away from the experience of like having an adventure, you know, the adventures of Link. But on the other hand, if it just kind of throws you out there in this world you know nothing about, it leaves you to figure stuff out on your own. And for some people, it's hit or miss. That's pretty much all I could find wrong with the game. So, I guess on to what it could have done better. Now I find this category kind of useless for this game specifically, because there's no con that A Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds didn't already fix. You can do any of the temples in any order you want to, and they allow you to do this by being able to buy or rent weapons from someone who steals your house. It's unclear, but you don't have a house anymore. However, you get weapons for cheap, I guess, 800 rupees. The value of rupees is changed in this game drastically. So what it did is it took what was wrong with Link to the Past and fixed it, and kept the things that were right with Link to the Past and kept those. I'm not saying the game's perfect, but I'm saying it was a really good way to ease people back into the way it used to be. Now I realize that if you watch the Egoraptor video first and then watch this, there's a lot of things that I said that were very similar, and a lot of ways I've acted that are similar, but that's just because I like his style. I like the way he analyzes games. I like the way he commentates on games. If you watch Game Grumps, I'll leave a description, link, annotation, whatever. It'll be somewhere. I like his personality, and I'm not saying I want to be him, but he is my main inspiration for this channel and especially this video. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have a comment, leave it down below. If you like the video, go and give the like button a tap. But thanks again, and I'll see all you in the next video. Peace out. Hey, so, no, it's not 3 days after the footage I recorded before this. No, it's not Sunday. It is. So there's a thing that Isaac did on his channel that I was actually going to do as well, after I'd seen it, of course. It's inspired by him. And then I forgot to, so I'm just going to do it now, while I'm in bed. And what he does is he asks a question at the end of his video that you guys can answer in the comments. And I think it's a really good way to interact with the comments. I think it's a good way to interact with fans and do stuff like that. So, my questions are going to be related to the review, though. So I'm going to ask you all, what's your favorite Zelda game? Answer in the comments below what your favorite Zelda game is. Mine's Wind Waker. I'm playing it right now. The first account is the one that I beat twice. The second account is my 3-heart run. Yeah, it's my favorite game was Wind Waker. So, what's your guys's? Leave it in the comments down below, and bye. But yeah, so... Hello, Allison.
Did you show my room?
No, but you're gonna be in the video.
Hi!
Cool, go ahead. Yeah, so